It's World Press Freedom Day. My name is David Lawal of the UNESCO Youth Newsroom team. Right now we are in Riga, the capital city of Latvia, and then we are at the National Library where the event is old and proper. At the moment we are going to Riga Hall for the first pilot session of today. The topic of discussion is regulations and self-regulations for the media.
We'll have to deal with them in June, so this is in newspapers.
So, sir, Mr. Christopher, while the session was on, you made a contribution. Would you mind sharing the contribution with us?
I think there were 2 points I was trying to make. The first is that as journalists, we have a responsibility to discipline each other. That is, through using the tools of journalism. That is, we should be using both the new tools of social media and also the old traditional tools of writing stories, doing stories, to reveal wrongdoing in journalism just like we do in any other institution. And I think that's one of the key ways in which journalism keeps itself honest. The second point I was making is that one of the major ethical threats for journalists, or I should say one of the major ethical responsibilities of journalists, is to give our sources the undertaking that we will keep their identity confidential. That means we're able to get access to information and the people and the communities are able to get access to information that they otherwise wouldn't be able to do. Now, increasingly, governments are cracking down on whistleblowers and confidential sources to try to identify them and using quite sophisticated technological tracking systems to track the metadata of the communications of journalists, their phones, their emails, their social media interactions, to enable them to identify confidential sources. The effect that means is that it's harder and harder for journalists to find out things that governments don't want us to know, and that's having a very serious impact on our ability to keep our communities informed.
How do you think social media is affecting the ability of young journalists to abide by ethics?
It's very important for young journalists to abide by ethics because if they are not abiding, they will be as another citizen which can write anything without credibility, without accuracy, without objectives.
What is important for me is that if you don't take care of the regulation in the media, then the state will take care of the regulation. That's why I said that you have two ways of regulation. The state can take care of the regulation, or the media themselves can take care of it. And I think it's very important that the media and the journalists, the editors, take care of the regulation themselves. And that can be handled in different ways.
Reported by David Lawal and filmed by Juuso Parviainen for Youth Newsroom at UNESCO World Press Freedom Day 2015 in Riga, Latvia.